All right, the quad headlight saga continues. So, as you guys know, I was able to secure the right headlight assembly and all of the parts, including the bezel. The left side is very challenging. So, I've tried to place several orders for the full headlight assembly. It's just not available anywhere from what I've been able to see. All of the orders I've placed have been canceled. So, I was able to find the left bracket, right? So, basically just the bare plastic assembly that secures the pieces. Problem is you got to source all of the hardware. The buckets are also not available from what I've seen. So one of the buckets for the left side you can get. The other one is completely discontinued from what I've seen. You might be able to find these chrome bezels as well, or you can go aftermarket with GM parts. So I'm trying to keep it all Toyota, so that's where this thing comes in. So in all of my part number searches, I ended up finding out that the 1984 to 85 Toyota Camry actually uses a lot of the same part numbers as the quad headlights from the Land Cruiser's 80 series. So I got really lucky and I actually found this left headlight from a Camry on eBay for 18 bucks with about $12 shipping. So I took a gamble on it and it arrived today. It's in rough shape as you would expect for 40-year-old parts, but the buckets look to be pretty much identical to what I have right now in the right headlight. So, and they're actually in pretty decent shape. So these rings, I was just hitting it with some polish, cleans up pretty good. These obviously are going to get replaced. That's one of the OEM Toyota ones. This is an aftermarket Sylvania. But so far, it looks like I will be able to salvage out the parts from this thing and make it work. So once that other left headlight bracket arrives, I'll be able to confirm that these buckets do work for sure. And if not, if it doesn't work, it's just a $30 gamble. Not too bad. And the springs look to be in the exact same orientation as well. So might be able to source some of these parts OEM. The problem is I got to get these guys. So these adjuster screws are different length as well as the clips. So the clips might need to be replaced. But so far, if you guys are having trouble sourcing some of these parts, take a look at the 84 and 85 Toyota Camry. And I'm pretty sure many of the parts are interchangeable. So we'll see. All right, got the buckets removed, give them a quick clean, as well as the chrome bezels. They're actually in really good shape, for being from a early 80s car. You see the original Japan. Very little rust. I might hit them with some black spray paint just to clean them up, but overall, it looks like this might be a win, so we'll see. These guys look pretty good, too, after cleaning them up. I said the screws might be too short, but I think they're actually exactly the same. They were just deeper into the socket, so I'm going to see if I can clean the rust off of these. Might be able to salvage them as well. So anybody is restoring a 84 to 85, or it might be 83 to 84, I can't remember, Toyota Camry, let me know. Otherwise, these are going to go in the trash, and somebody's going to be really looking for one 10, 15 years from now. So there we are. All right, guys, look what just showed up. I was not too happy with the fitment of those TYC aftermarket corners that I had found on eBay, so started searching around to see what I could find on some Japanese auction websites, and sure enough, I was able to find a set of these new old stock OEM corners for the quad. So you can see there, original Toyota parts. These are extremely hard to find. So I tried several places and you just cannot find them. I was not able to get them at all. So these were not cheap either, but the quality is just night and day difference versus what the aftermarket pieces are. The problem with these is they don't come with the pigtail. So the pigtail assembly, basically the light plus the pigtail, is a different part number. That one is discontinued from everything I've been able to see. So some locations do have the lens part number with just this without the pigtail, but luckily I do have the pigtail from the aftermarket ones that I bought, so I'll just be able to swap that over. But so far, all right, here's the aftermarket and the OEM side by side. So this is original Toyota, this is the aftermarket TYC. So right off the bat, you can see there's a little bit of difference in the shade. This one is, the inner housing is more of a bright silver. This one looks to be sort of a little bit more of a muted silver color. The other big difference too is this outer trim piece. It's more of a light gray color here, and then here it's a darker gray OEM, which actually matches the. Let's see if I can show you here the color that's here on the chrome housing. So it'll be a nice match all the way across. This is what I was mentioning about the pigtail. So this is the OEM pigtail from the AUS-spec 80 corner. You can see it just doesn't fit. So it's very different shape, different overall. This is the pigtail that comes on the aftermarket. So much smaller. You might be able to, I don't know, you could probably make one of these from looking at some aftermarket parts, but this is the one that fits in here. One of the main things I didn't like about these aftermarket lights is this trim piece that goes all the way around. So if you can see, it's sort of like a rubber gasket material held on with some double-sided tape or glue or whatever. The problem is when you install this thing tends to get crushed up against the fender, and it looks pretty ugly because it's sort of uneven all the way across. The OEM ones, it's hard plastic all the way. You can see how it's cut and contoured and secured in place, and this stuff's really hard, so it's not going to distort when you install it. The other big difference is the upper mounting tab. So these have a really soft plastic, and you can see this thing just bends easily, whereas the OEM one, it's much stouter, much stronger plastic, not as soft as these aftermarket pieces. But yeah, so far they look good. Can't wait to get them installed and finally have that full OEM look. All right, back at it again with another update. So I finally managed to get my hands on a left side bracket to hold the headlights. And as a reminder, I'm using Toyota Camry 83 to 84 headlight buckets, repurposed from a unit that I found on eBay. So I managed to get everything in, and I think it works. I don't know. I don't have my truck with me here to confirm it's at the shop, but so far, I was able to bolt everything up, and I think they're lined up correctly. So wish I had another headlight to confirm, but it looks like, all right, a little cockeyed. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% yet if they're going to work. There's some of these little ridges here. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that, or it's sort of button up against the housing. So I'm going to have to wait and see till I get the truck back. But so far I'm able to bolt everything up, and it actually works. But again, we'll see. You reuse the screws, reusing the chrome retaining rings. And so I think I'm still going to order some aftermarket GM buckets just to have them on hand and see how those fit and see if there's any difference there. But that means, I need to get new clips, new screws, and then also new springs. So I got to start scrounging around for that stuff. But, when I take the bezel and put it on here, clip that in there. There we go. I mean, everything looks like it's lined up well, so doesn't look like the headlights are sticking out too far, or that they're cockeyed in the housing. So I don't know, it might just work. On the bracket itself, if you do manage to be able to find some of these, the challenge is they don't come with all of the clips. So the only clips that'll come included are these guys, right? So for the actual retaining screws. But you got all of these things here that are empty that you got to start figuring out and get the part numbers and all that. So I did manage to get all of that included, and here's all the part numbers. So these little orange clips here go up at the top in order to hold the corner light, or sorry, over here on this side, to hold the corner light top tab. These little white plugs here go over here to also secure the bottom post of the corner light. And then you got a bunch of these little black screw retaining plugs. These go here, one for the grill, one for the bezel, and then you got two up top as well that also secure the bezel and the grill. So 4 of those needed per side. And so here's the final assembly with everything bolted up together. So OEM Toyota corners. There's where all those little screw tabs go, where I was mentioning. So here, another one up here, down there. So that's what all those little plugs that you need. But it's pretty good. This is kind of some of the gap I was talking about. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be that way, but it looks pretty uniform from one side to the other. Well, it's good. I like to see, this is what really, the nice part about having the OEM corners is that everything matches, including that color. So all the way across. Looks good.